Hey, Wade.
Hey, Carly.
So today, can you tell me about this machine learning thing?
Yeah, so machine learning is the newest frontier of data science, and I think what makes data science really, really interesting and such a hot field. So machine learning is one part of a growing area of computer science, and you sometimes see this abbreviated as just ML. And this is really one part of this idea of artificial intelligence, or AI. And AI is the idea that we're going to have the computers do something intelligent, something that resembles intelligence, and learn just like a human learns. So we're going to focus here on machine learning. So machine learning is the idea that we're going to take data and we're going to apply the data through some sort of algorithm. And this algorithm is then going to create a model that we can apply new data to that we don't know anything about and produce some information about this data. There's going to be some learning that happens here as the algorithm creates a model. And we can only do this with the help of data science and statistics. So all of the data science you've learned up to now, how to understand probability, how to understand hypothesis tests, and how to process data is key to making sure that we can use data to create an algorithm that can build a model so that new data can be placed into the model and then new information or conclusions can come out of this process.
That's really cool. So are there different types of models that we can use to make these conclusions?
Yeah, so there's two major categories that we divide all of the machine learning algorithms into. And one algorithm is how do they learn? How does this process work? And one class of algorithms are called unsupervised. So unsupervised learning algorithms say that we are not going to need, so no correct answer is given. So these are algorithms that we don't know what the expected outcome is. There's no correct answer, as I call it. The expected output's not given. We're just saying, here's a bunch of data. It's not labeled. There's no outcome we're predicting.
Do something.
Do something. The alternative is supervised. So this is when when a correct answer is provided in the training data. So the training data is this data that we initially give to the system. So for a supervised learning algorithm, we need to know both all of the data that we're trying to learn and what the outcome or conclusion that we expect to learn is. So this might be a number of photographs that are labeled as a dog or a cat, is a classic example. So if you have a bunch of data and it's a picture of a dog or a cat, and in the supervised algorithm, we're going to have to say, this is a dog, here's a picture of a dog. This is a cat, here's a picture of a cat. Maybe give 1,000 of these examples. Then when they see a new piece of data, like a new picture of a dog or a new picture of a cat, then it should be able to correctly make a conclusion about that data that it's never seen before.
I think I've seen one of those for hot dog or not a hot dog.
Exactly. There's a ton of examples, and image recognition is a great example of supervised learning because computers can do a really great job of learning details about an image to identify one particular class of category of image inside of an image. So one particular object inside of an image. And this is just one axis that we look at. The other axis we look at is what kind of results do we want? So there are two different types of machine learning algorithms in terms of what conclusions do they make. One conclusion is a prediction algorithm. So a prediction algorithm is going to predict an exact value for a given input. So some people call these also regression algorithms.
Yes, regression is super common in statistics because we can use one variable or many variables to predict the outcome of another.
So in general, I call this class prediction. Some people will call this regression. So these are algorithms that are going to predict an exact value, so an exact amount, exact percentage, for example, of how much we think it's a dog. The other type of machine learning algorithm is classification. And classification places a data value into a category or class. So if all the output is either dog or cat, it's one of two different categories. So this doesn't give us an exact value, it simply gives us a category that it fits in.
Interesting.
So every single algorithm that is in AI is generally going to fit into somewhere on this grid. It's either going to be a prediction algorithm or a classification algorithm, and it's either going to be unsupervised or supervised. To just get started, to give you an idea of these algorithms, we're going to chat about two specific algorithms in detail in this series. So the first one, what are we going to talk about first, Carly?
So the first one is actually regression, which again is a prediction algorithm. And thinking in terms of supervised and unsupervised, I'm going to say that this one is supervised because there is a correct answer to what we're doing.
Exactly. And we're going to look at one particular type of regression, specifically linear regression.
Exactly.
So linear regression is an example of supervised learning that provides prediction.
Yes.
The other algorithm is your favorite algorithm in the world, Carly.
Oh, yeah, which is called k-means clustering.
So k-means clustering is a classification algorithm. It's going to cluster our data into particular classes or clusters. And k-means clustering is also one of the unsupervised learning algorithms. So this means we just have to give it data, and it's going to identify clusters of data that are most similar together. And we can ask k-means to have 2 clusters, 5 clusters, 10 clusters. We're going to decide how many clusters. And this k is the number of clusters we create. So we might do a k-means clustering algorithm with a k equals 3 for 3 clusters.
Yes.
So there are algorithms that fit into all of these categories, and we'll leave you with some tools that you can play around with other algorithms. And there are a ton of available resources to really nerd out with a lot of machine learning, because machine learning is one of the hottest fields in computer science and data science right now, and it's definitely worth nerding out with.